Watches and Wonders 2023, and we're here with Anthony de Haas from Lange Söhne, talking about the one and only watch they are introducing during Watches and Wonders this year. Can you tell us more about this beauty? Start with the basics.
You have an hour or three? Yeah, I can explain a little bit.
Easy. Come on.
Great,
we can
great. Wow, yeah, just one watch. But what kind of watch? We started 6 years ago. We started working at the Odysseus family. The regular version, which we launched in 2019, and already this chronograph. And of course, it was never the goal to transform the beautiful, well-known datograph into a sporty monster, like putting a rotor outside and things like that. No, we keep that as it is. And the only thing we took from that is the experience how to build that chronograph. And we wanted to start from scratch. We had to, actually, because if you want to respect the architecture of the Odysseus on the dial, like the outsize weekday, the outsize date, it's already limiting the position where axis can come out of the dial. So, and an automatic chronograph, you need more space for the automatic system, the automatic gearing. So we decided to go for a vertical clutch, but not just a regular vertical clutch. We tried to make a very smooth vertical clutch, because the disadvantages of a vertical clutch is quite aggressive. You come with two clamps and smashing and things, and you have to build very rigid parts, and it goes thicker and huge. And we went the other way around, actually very smooth. We are lifting very gently the chronograph wheel, the vertical clutch up and down. It goes in a very gentle wheel by a classical column wheel. And that also resulted in the dynamic zero reset, like we call it. It means that we do the resetting by resetting the heart-shaped cam on the hour counter. Both counters actually are coming from the center. So we have the chronograph stop second, but also the minute counter is a 60-minute counter from the center.
Nice. So it's coaxial.
Yeah.
Sort of. How did you do that? You say the vertical clutch works extremely smooth. Is there something to regulate that smoothness, or?
Yeah, it's already starting how you make the movement design, the construction of the system, by choosing the lifting system of the whole wheel and not just slamming in.
Yeah.
You reduce forces which are needed to activate, so you feel that right away on the pusher. It's the same feeling like most of the collectors know from the datograph. You mean very smooth but precise and well defined, and that's what we want to create with this chronograph. So the architecture is quite different. We have at 6 o'clock a regular small second hand. We have the outsize date, weekday, and the two hands, and the beautiful aluminium anodized stop second hand, which is red.
Okay.
And the minute counter was also come from the center, which is steel.
Looks very beautiful. In terms of movement and finishing, can you tell us a bit about how that has been done?
Now, finishing is quite easy. It's the same standard as in all our Lange watches.
Typical Lange standard.
The typical Lange standards. The watch runs also like the other Odysseus at 4 Hz. So it has a special balance wheel, 4 Hz, and we have a balance wheel bridge, not a balance cock, for more stability.
Also we have like the other Odysseus.
Yeah, and we have, it is an automatic chronograph, of course, and it has a unidirectional rotor, so it winds in one direction. And yeah, a fun thing is though, you remember the regular Odysseus that having these two fancy pushers.
That was my next question indeed, so yeah. So
how about, because there the two pushers are used for the weekday and the date.
How do you do that now?
We didn't want to drill in extra holes because
it's a sports watch.
The steel case is 120 meter waterproof. You don't want to drill holes. A typical Lange solution, I must say. For example, I will start the chronograph now with the 2 o'clock pusher, and the date is not well adjusted. I can descrew the crown, because it's a screw-on crown, and we created an extra position in the first position, and suddenly the pushers have changed in the function. So the 4 o'clock pusher is for the weekday, and the 2 o'clock pusher is for the date.
And that even while the chronograph is running?
And the chronograph is running, exactly. So I corrected the date and I screw it back on, and there we go.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And it's all packed in a 42.5 millimeter case, steel. And it has a thickness of 14.2. And it goes very smooth on the wrist. And it has the famous Odysseus bracelet with the fine adjustment with 7 steps.
That works extremely comfortable, I can attest. Now I'm waiting for that minute hand to advance a little bit.
Good point, because Frank is a kind of a connoisseur. So, yeah, but you know the datograph. You say, wait a moment, lange minute counters, instantaneously jumping minute counters, flyback. I'm sorry, Frank.
Not on this one.
This is from the center. It doesn't need to be instantaneously jumping. It allows you to if you stop it at 30 seconds, you also can see it right in the middle.
It's pretty easy, you know, in a small register, it helps,
you have
to be honest.
The hour scale, so you have a bigger scale, so it's not necessary to do the instantaneously jumping. And the flyback, no, not this time. We didn't want to copy the functions of the datograph in this watch.
But in terms of looks and functionality, it's, I think, a very good one. Design-wise, who is responsible for the black dial, only just the few red elements, and not going for different colors or maybe blending in with the blue? That was the first Odysseus.
Yeah, exactly. And the fun thing is that we are quite strict on design codes at Lange, like colors, metal colors, dial colors. What we introduced with the Odysseus was a dial structure. The dial structure is different at each material. So the steel watch has, this is also a steel watch, so this has the same dial structure. The outer ring with a rough, like a big azurage, like a big circling, and the middle part is quite rough. It's like grenade effect. That is for steel. The titanium one has a different structure, as well as the gold one, a different structure. So, although the first steel was blue, this one is black. We have a tradition of black chronographs, dials, at Lange Söhne. So that we found this is a good one to start, this new tradition.
Looks absolutely gorgeous, Tony. How many pieces are being made?
Of this is a limited edition 100 watches.
That's not much, but on the other hand, you know, in building a watch like this, it's fully hand finished and assembled, that sort. Roughly how much time does it take to create a watch like this for one watchmaker?
You mean if he has the parts?
If he has the parts
all finished on his table, that depends. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 2 weeks. That depends a little bit.
And that is just the assembly?
It is just the assembly. No finishing. Then we took a way longer road. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also not something that you can create many of those.
No. No, and it requires quite a fine, smooth adjustment. So the adjustment, it takes a lot of time to get it really smooth and precise.
So you need a very experienced watchmaker as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks very good. Tony, thank you so much for the clarification on this beautiful new Odysseus Chronograph.
Thank you, Frank. And, as always.
Yeah. Merci.
Merci. Dat was typical Dutch. Merci.
Dankjewel.
Dankjewel.